For over 150 years, American Standard has been the trusted
What's
name for components, and now they're making it easier
Skakel
to
in the
find without crazy waiting.
house?
American Standard offers full shower
Happy
robots. Your new flush
Humpday.
robots get installed in as little as 2 days.
Yeah, gotta love that.
The
I
fastest
hope you
flush shower
guys are
robots designed by
well.
personal
Let's turn
injury
that
design
TV
companies. Choose
down.
from 24 shower robots. Stylish, drop-free, easy to clean.
No more practice run.
Every shower is installed by
And get it on. What's up, SCBID show? Decline hosts. Hey, hey. Driving to San Diego tonight. It's an interesting drive. It's not too far. But with LA traffic, it could be. I'm doing good, you know. Didn't have a great hockey game last night, but, you know, fun nonetheless to get out of the house and not be around stand-up comics for a couple hours. Message held for review. These are always fun. Lick It Up, probably, because they had Vinnie Vincent's songwriting. You know, Mark St. John was a great classically trained guitar player. I believe he took lessons from Randy Rhoads. So his pedigree as a technical guitar player was every bit as good as Vinnie Vincent, but Mark didn't really write songs. So, what up, YB? So, Lick It Up's a little more well-rounded. I've been streaming for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So I hardly think that is streaming all day. You know, I stream when I want to stream. You tried. You got to write that in English, bro. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. Yeah, Van Halen's great too, as well. All right. I see the trolls are coming in early. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't worry about my finances. I'm doing fine. I live in the most expensive part of Los Angeles. I own my house, I own my car, and I got more leather jackets than most people have friends. Thank you for subbing and liking. Well, I mean, but, you know, like, I love Jimmy Carr, but it's really not impressive to me that he was shitting on open mic level comics, you know. See, I did it like Santino did it. You know, I'm trying to help comics. You know, I don't feel it really a challenge to shit on younger comics with, you know, Tony, Red Band, Santino, a band. I just don't, I'm not impressed. So, yes, you know, hit the like and subscribe button is a good button. And I appreciate those of you who hit it. So, oh yeah, I mean, you listen, you sign up, you know what you're getting yourself into with Kill Tony. I mean, I think to a degree you do. I mean, I don't think some of the kids realize that they are the joke. They're the punchline, not necessarily the, you know, I so, oh shit, Hi-Fi Protege, $1.99. Best, I believe that is a best advice you received, and how did it work out? Fuck yeah. I forget who told it to me, but it's so true. Don't listen to anyone who's not better off than you. Like one time I was in the belly room and Jimmy Carr was watching me, and I was fucking scared because I respect him as a comic a lot. I do think comedy is a sacred art form. And he came up to me and told me, "Hey, I really like that one joke you just did. Try it this way." And I tried it his way, and it did get a bigger laugh. I would not have tried it another way if it was like an open mic level comic I didn't respect. So, well, I just don't, you know, in terms of Kill Tony, like, I'm not impressed by the panelists shitting on some open mic level comic. And does it really need, do you really need 3 or 4 people shitting on a comic who's a year in? I don't think that's funny. But, the show's selling out arenas, so I'm wrong, I guess. Um, I'm not sure what you're talking about ourselves. Um, I mean, I don't think old people are dumb. Old people usually are smarter than young people just on life experience alone. So, but what does that have to do with what I'm not impressed with? I'm just saying I'm not impressed by one of the most famous comics in the world, who I beat at Roast Battle, and Tony and Santino and a band and sound effects all piling on a young open mic level comic. I'm sorry, that's not impressive to me. The fact that I have no people in my stream is irrelevant to what we're talking about. But, nice try. What up, Sherry Willis? Oh, I think Jimmy Carr is incredibly funny. Like, that's not, it's like that one time I saw that during Skankfest when it was Tony, the Legion of Skanks guys, and I think there was one other comic where they were shitting on this open mic girl. She's a heavy set open mic girl. Like, I'm sorry. Does it really take 5 of you to gang up on this one girl? So he's too busy collecting that money, honey. The most famous hack today. See, I like Bo Burnham. So how am I jealous? Like, who am I jealous of? I'm just saying I don't think that's funny to gang up on a young open mic comic. I'm sorry, man. I understand why the show is successful. It's that bottom of the barrel type humor. But I don't know. That's why I liked Roast Battle, it was one-on-one combat. Okay, you're gonna say something mean about me. Well, I get to say something mean about you right away. It's one-on-one. Oh, okay. I mean, Jimmy's very funny, and Santino's very funny. I mean, Santino's not really a roast comic, so I wish I was Superman. I wish I was Superman. I could just fly away. Who's your favorite comedian? I don't really like comics. I like TV shows more than I do comics. Like All in the Family, I liked. and what else? The White Shadow, What's Happening. So I would, Don Rickles, I guess, would be my favorite comic. Yeah, that's a fact, Jack. I mean, you seem a little riled up there. You know, I mean, I'm very happy with my career, to be honest with you. So some of them should take my advice. Any comic do? I mean, not any comic can do the type of stuff Norm Macdonald did. I mean, Norm's the top 5 comic to me. I mean, he just such a sharp mind, kind of a twisted sense of humor. It was authentic. Tony made a joke. He said all of them could come back to LA anytime they want and take over the Comedy Store again. What does he mean, like him and Joe? I mean, that's probably true. I mean, I don't know what he means by take over, but, you know. What up, Cold C? I mean, he's up there. I mean, a prime Dave Chappelle is pretty hard to beat, that's for sure. Which comics do you know that do meta? I mean, no one does it as well as Norm. That's a fact. You mean no, the guys. You mean the comics, like the contestants? Um, well, ourselves. I mean, Joe's funny to his fan base, you know. So, I mean, comedy is subjective, but I think Joe's style of comedy is perfect for his fan base. That UFC, macho, um, people who probably watch pro wrestling. If I were to like kind of gauge Joe Rogan's audience, I would say it's heavily male, 19 to say 45. They like boxing, sports. If Maxim magazine were still around, they would be a subscriber to it. Excited to finally BS with you tonight, Earl, New Jersey Ranger. Yeah, it'll be around 7 p.m. my time, maybe a little earlier. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't watch stand up. I think I bought a stand up CD by Joe. Jesus, man, it might have even been his first stand up, and the crowd was laughing. So, I mean, I'm of the opinion, and he is a amazing podcaster. I mean, some people don't like his political views, but that's fine. But Joey Diaz talking about sticking weed under his nutsack on the Alex Jones was funny. I didn't hear that interview. I don't listen to Alex Jones. You know, he is not my cup of tea. I mean, obviously Louis C.K. is one of the best at it today. Before I say this, comedy is subjective to me. I've seen him live at the Comedy Store. I mean, he's obviously a great joke writer. I don't find him particularly funny. He comes off a little bitter. I didn't find Bill Hicks funny. So obviously they're both funny. Just not my cup of tea. I'd rather watch Mitch Hedberg, Stephen Wright, Robert Schimmel. Well, I don't know if I'm a young man, but I will say greetings. Ever seen Louis C.K. rub one out? I have not, thank God. Always, Rue, always. I'm keeping good. So who do you like? My top 3 comics of all time? I mean, once again, this is just shit I find funny, like roast style humor. I would say Don Rickles, Norm Macdonald, and Dice Clay. I did watch Larry Sanders. I mean, Holtzman's great. No, he didn't curse. Another guy I like that probably, I don't know how old you are, ourselves. I'm going to guess mid-20s, late 20s. I don't know why I say that. But Foster Brooks was awesome. He basically was in character playing a drunk. Oh, okay. I mean, you might have heard of Foster Brooks, but I don't think many people today would like him. Like younger kids, they'd be like, what the fuck? AC/DC, hey now. So, I mean, who are your top 3? It's probably completely different than mine. But you know what? That's the great thing about comedy. Neither one of us are wrong. I mean, there's some people whose top 3 would be Chris D'Elia, Matt Rife, and Dane Cook. That's their groats. So, good to see you. We got some mods in the house. Not too many trolls today. So, yeah, we don't talk about Diddy in here. Can you pretend to be drunk, girl? Not as good as Foster Brooks. Yeah, I mean, Dick Gregory is great. Like, you know, I mean, he was more almost like spoken word than stand up. But, yeah, I mean, Dick Gregory, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, you know, when you say who are the top 3 comics, it's tough. I mean, there's no wrong answer. Yeah, Robin, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad top 3 at all. Paul Mooney. I mean, Mort Saul would be some people's great. To me, he was incredibly boring, but, you know, yeah. Were you on Kill Tony? I've been on Kill Tony 6 times. The first 2, I was the Iron Patriot, and then the last 4 times as a panelist. I think I was on with one episode with Mike Lawrence, because we were both from Roast Battle. Michael Costa was another episode. I think me, him, and Moshe Kasher. And then Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. So, you know, it was fun. I mean, you know, it was kind of in the growing era of the show. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to be on it, you know, in a packed mothership or a packed arena, but I'm not sure if that will ever happen. Wanda Sykes, Monique, and some more. I mean, listen, you're not wrong. That's your top 3. I wouldn't even put those 3 in my top 100. But, you know, once again, comedy's subjective. Nasty Neil, Norman Louis C.K. for me, not sure on the 3rd. Yeah, I mean, those are 2 great comics. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Sebastian's a character. He's almost like Dice. Like, you know, Dice is not like that in real life. But, you know, I think Sebastian got so big. And it wasn't an overnight success with Sebastian. I mean, I remember seeing him in the original room in like 2005 in front of 8 people and not doing great. And no comic would be doing great, but Benji, I hope you get more Kill Tony time. You're talented. Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if I will be. Whoa, sorry about that. Thank you, Benji. First of all, I don't know if I will be asked back on Kill Tony, but you never know. I mean, never say never. Um, what up, Buddhist priest? Take care of them chompers. Um, you know, yeah, but I think Dice. Yeah, I mean, the nursery rhymes were crude, but I think Dice is pretty funny and the perfect comic for that era. Um, I mean, you got to be funny to fill Madison Square Garden. And he did it with no social media. Back then there was no Facebook or MySpace or Instagram or TikTok or Vine or Periscope. So I think that, I've seen Dice do like straight material, usually at the Comedy Store, and it's really good. What happened to comedy the past 10 years? Roast Battle got picked up for a show. Kill Tony moved. I was getting a show. No great comedy movies. No breakout stars. Yeah, Mulaney's very good. Obviously. What up, William Zoom? Um, you know, I think comedy the last 10 years, and this is a little self-serving because I helped start Roast Battle at the Comedy Store. I think Roast Battle was kind of the first jump into politically incorrect humor. I mean, bringing it back. I mean, the first couple years pre-TV show, I mean, Roast Battle went hard in the paint. I mean, and this is before Jeff got involved. I mean, it was insane what we were doing in the belly room. And it was the talk of LA comedy for years. Very few shows in LA comedy last. And Roast Battle is still selling out to this day. I mean, I judged it about a month ago. It wasn't nearly as good um, as it used to be, but people still like the humor, and I think it's short form humor. Even if you're doing a 1 round battle, you're doing maybe 2 minutes of jokes. Kill Tony, you're doing a minute. So I think that's the biggest change in comedy is, have you heard of Dimitri Martin? He was clever. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's not, I mean, I'm sure he still does comedy, but, he also got acting gigs. So, um, Jake Roberts was a very good storyteller. I wouldn't say he was a comic per se, but Jake Roberts was very good. In terms of why does the Comedy Store not live stream, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Um, I think I'm gonna guess their thinking might be, well, if we live stream everything, no one's gonna want to come to the club. They'll just go on YouTube. So I mean, I don't know for that to be a fact. I'm just guessing that would be. I mean, I opened up for Jake the Snake Roberts, and it was fascinating. He's a great storyteller. Like, he just draws you in because he kind of talks like a preacher, but it's not loud or obnoxious, and it's, yeah, I mean, that would be my guess in terms of, I mean, I know the Laugh Factory has a pretty active YouTube channel. Um, I mean, he's probably sick of doing it, but it does very well. Um, I mean, when I opened up for Jake, um, he was clean. He was tired, but he was clean. Jeselnik is awesome. I mean, that's another. Um, I mean, I would put him in my top five. He's just like my writing's kind of all over the place. I'm kind of sloppy with my words. My jokes are relatively well structured, but his jokes are laser precision. There's not one wasted word. It's like a doctor. Um, so my current fave is the female Japanese comic. She's funny. I don't know who that is. Live ones. He's a cool guy, but I mean, I could see Greg Valentine maybe telling a story and then getting tired and saying, fuck this. Um, Oh yeah, Bob Marley's a Boston legend. I did a few shows with him at the Laugh Factory out here. Probably should have been bigger. I think I would guess Bob's problem was he was just an average looking white dude, and there's plenty of that in comedy, so he didn't necessarily stand out. Great comic though. Um, yeah, but Paulie was also the perfect comedy star for that time. It was that stoner humor. It was just he was perfect for it. Yeah, I mean, because podcasting, I certainly don't make a lot of money at it, but if you look at, oh yeah, I mean, there's probably comics in every city who should be bigger. Does Al Franken know he ripped off his entire persona? I could say he ripped off mine. Um, so I don't think he wishes he was me, to be frank. I mean, one of the funniest comics I know out here is a comic by the name of Jason Galern. Just his jokes are so funny to me, and he's a great writer. He's a school teacher in the daytime, but he's like a stoner. He should be very well known, but you know, it's a fucked up business to try and figure out. And then I'm trying to think. A guy I worked with, he's like a Bay Area legend. He did Letterman a few times. He was Letterman's favorite comic, Larry Bubbles Brown. Um, he should be famous. So funny. But I think he was kind of an introvert, and he's like one of the bigger fish in the San Francisco, Northern California scene. I mean, he should have moved to LA when he had the opportunity to, and he would, he's so funny. So check out Larry Bubbles. Yeah, Larry is absolutely one of those guys who I think is comfortable in Frisco and just never moved to LA. I mean, he turned down Letterman, and Letterman loved him, and I'm talking prime David Letterman. So I think Larry is or was almost scared of success. What happened to Larry Miller? I mean, Larry Miller probably still writes for people and whatnot. I mean, he was almost more of a writer than a comic, but obviously had success as a stand-up. Um, you know, it probably would. I mean, LA is not for everyone. I'm adjusted to it because of the neighborhood I grew up in. It was a celebrity neighborhood, so I've been around celebrities since I came out of my mom's pussy. So I'm used to it. But if you come from another part of the world, Canada, even New York or whatever, LA is not for everyone. That's for sure. I'm not asking this to be funny. How is Stuttering John as a stand-up? I mean, I've done one show with Stuttering John. It was at the Comedy Store. It was a benefit for Robert Schimmel. I think some of the comics on the lineup were Hinchcliffe, Sam Tripoli, Adam Hunter, myself, Stuttering John, Carmen Morales. She's a very funny Bay Area comic. And he was probably the worst comic on the lineup. That's not really fair to say that about him because it was basically all Comedy Store paid regulars and him. So I think if you were to have polled the crowd after the show and be like, hey, there was one comic who's not a paid regular, which one was it? They would say John. Nice guy, though. I mean, it was a good cause for Robert Schimmel. I mean, his comedy, it's tough. I mean, he should do what the wrestlers do. Don't do jokes. Tell stories. Tell stories about meeting Ted Williams, asking him, that question, or Morton Downey. he should not try and do stand up. I mean, that if I were Brendan Schaub, I would have told him that. Dude, don't do jokes. You're not strong enough. Tell stories about your MMA life. That's something no other comic in the world can talk about. Hey, I was in a heavyweight title fight in the UFC. Um, so, okay, so Letterman was straight and was attracted to women. What a jerk. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Stuttering John has interacted with the biggest celebrities in the world. And, tell stories about meeting them. Definitely a one man show. Listen, stand up ain't for everyone. You got to work at it constantly, or you're not going to be good at it. Um, is crowd work looked down on? I mean, I think ever since Matt Rife kind of popped with crowd work, it inspired a lot of bad crowd work. It's not looked down upon if you're good at it. Like Ian Bagg and Rick Ingram are the two best crowd work comics. I mean, I'm not going to put myself in their category, but I'm pretty good at it. Um, it's a skill. It's like being good at slam dunking. Not everyone can slam dunk. Um, so I think crowd work is over saturated now because everyone wants to be the new Matt Rife. So they're just cranking out crowd work after crowd work after crowd work video, and not very much of it is funny. Oh, that's cool, Nasty Neil. Yes, I am Mr. Deep Voice. EA Sports. It's in the game. Thank you, William Zoom. I don't even know what he insulted me with, but what happened to D.L. Hughley? I mean, he's an actor. Listen, he's made a shitload of money in TV and film, so he's probably lost motivation to hit the road. Um, is Steve Sweeney better about his career? I got to be honest with you, bro. I don't know who that is. And he probably doesn't know who I am. So I mean that with Jared Kushner. Basically, hello, sir. With all the comics into wrestling, why hasn't one of them started wrestling podcast? I mean, Sam Roberts has. I mean, I don't know if he's considered a comic per se, but Santino said he was crying because I busted his Letterman bubble. Oh, okay. That's all right, William. I trust your judgment. I mean, I did a couple shows. I did a Greek restaurant once with Santino. It was pretty funny. Um, was Eddie Griffin? Yeah, Eddie Griffin was a stand-up. There's a dude tattooed like a clown talking about Jesus live right now with over 300 people watching. Be happy about your tight crowd. Yes, I did a podcast with Roddy Piper, but I wouldn't say it was my podcast. I mean, I was basically the bad guy because I didn't really care about working for the WWE. So I would say exactly what I felt. And I think Roddy liked that. He's like, hey, I don't have to be the bad guy. Let this guy be the idiot. So that was very fun for me to do. Yes, Roddy was supposed to come to my house the day he passed away. So you loved my jokes last time. Skippy, I doubt I did. I don't really like people doing jokes in my stream. This isn't an open mic. This is just a conversational stream. Um, the clown guy, yeah, probably. Junkyard Dog, yeah, I mean, he was a legend in Memphis South. I mean, he was like the Black Hulk Hogan in Memphis. And then, WWF kind of fucked him over. They just made him some cartoon, racist, gimmick, barking like a fucking dog. Can someone tell me what the point of Tony giving out joke books on Kill Tony? I don't know. I don't know what the point is. ECW was cool in the beginning, and then it got watered down. Coco Beware, yeah. I mean, he had a nice run. Have you done any shows in Israel? I would not travel across the globe. My humor is very Americanized, so I'm not going to travel basically a full day to play in front of a bunch of people who aren't going to get my references. Um, Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Kill Tony. I was on it 6 times. I don't need to watch it. Um, but listen, Kill Tony inspires me. I mean, I remember when I did the first couple shows as a panelist. It was in the belly room. There was 30 people in the room, and I'm talking comics, people on the stage, the waitress. If you would have asked me then, hey, this show's going to be in Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row, I'd be like, you're fucking nuts. So, anything's possible. Yeah, Big Show and Goldust were pretty funny. Jimmy Snuka was great. Wild that he killed his girlfriend and never really got in trouble for it. So, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I met him at the Comedy Store when Roddy brought him. It was pretty awesome. I wear shoes into the men's sauna because I just know what goes on in there. So, what up, Shandy girl in the house? Well, that's a little personal, organic. Yes, Robert Wagner. He used to bring his mother. Tony's a cheapskate. I mean, most rich people are. So did Robert. I knew Robert Wagner. His mom was friends with my mom. What was your favorite gig you were involved with? Working on Tyler, the Creator's The Jellies. It was fucking awesome. Tyler is just the fucking best. I mean, as many bad things as I've said about my time on Roast Battle, it's the complete opposite with Tyler, the Creator. I mean, he's just awesome. I can't think of. Yes, smash the likes. Thank you very much. Smash the subscription button if you would not mind. Thank you for the super chats. Did you know Natasha Wagner? I knew Robert Wagner's mom. Tyler's awesome, man. I can't say anything nicer about Tyler. I mean, he gets it, like Roast Battle, when it got to television, became me. Everything was me, 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 me. How do I get me over? Whereas on the Jellies, especially with the people working behind the scenes, Carl Jones, who's like a fucking legend in the comedy animation world, Phil Lamar, who's a voiceover legend, Kylo Kish, who played my daughter. I mean, she's like a pretty famous rapper. AJ Johnson was my wife on the show. I mean, she's a very well-known black actress. I mean, it was just awesome. Everyone helped each other. People who got cameo appearances on the show. It was just like friend of a friend. Hey, you need someone to do a white voice, but they're black. You try my buddy out. He's really good. I mean, people didn't really audition for the show. It was all referral based. So, yes, Jeff Ross was not pleasant to work with. Not Jim Ross, Jeff Ross. I've never worked with Jim Ross. Any stories about him? No, I never met Kamala, unfortunately. I talked to him a few times online because I knew his manager, but never met Kamala. What up, Johnny Lamb? Welcome. We're just doing a rare afternoon stream, and taking it day by day in the Earlverse. We're a small but mighty stream, and I appreciate the support. Jim Ross is cool. Jeff Ross sucks to work with. I know ourselves, we got off on the wrong foot in here, but we're coming around to each other because I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, the problem with Jeff is he doesn't want to be a team player. He wants to be the star of the show. And, I challenge anyone. Even the trolls in the stream. Go on Paramount Plus, or I guess you can go to Comedy Central, I guess, and look up Roast Battle Season 1. I think I was on 5 of the 6 episodes. And you tell me one episode of those 5 that I was on where Jeff is funnier than me. I'm not telling you a particular episode I know I did well on and Jeff didn't. I'm saying go to any of those 5 episodes And if you're being honest, even the trolls in the stream who don't think I'm funny or whatever, you won't find one episode that he was funnier than me. So, you know, that's, but Jeff fails upward. I mean, look at the, what was the last roast, the Tom Brady roast? He wasn't even in the top three. It was Hinchcliffe, Nikki, and Andrew Schultz. Um, you know. Yes, there are a lot of perverts in my business. I did meet Don Rickles once at a book signing at Book Soup. He was, he was older, but I knew his son Larry, who unfortunately died before Don did. I think I would like Congo Kong. His kayfabe manager is Jasmine St. Clair. I'm friends with Jasmine St. Clair. I've done Jasmine's podcast. She's awesome. We're very good friends. Jeff Richards has the best Jeff Ross impression. Jeff Richards is, you talk about, and he's pretty well known. I mean, he's one of the few, maybe the only cast member to be SNL cast member and a Mad TV cast member. Sarah Tiana. She's my favorite female comic. She's really good. And she beat me in Roast Battle on television, so you'd think I'd be bitter about it, but Sarah's very funny. I think she's funnier than Nikki, but and I think she writes for Nikki actually on the roast, so that's funny. Yeah, I mean, Larry, I think, I'm not sure how he died. We'd kind of lost touch, but we used to play golf a lot together, and it was just wild to me that he was Don Rickles' kid and pretty normal. So rest in peace, Larry and Don Rickles. You know. No, I mean, I actually had a plan going into that. For those of you wondering who Tommy Morris was, he was the old, very controversial talent coordinator at the Comedy Store before Adam Egget. And, I think people thought I was just going to have Tommy on there and shit on him why he didn't pass me. And I just said, I'm going to let him hang himself. I'm going to ask him a question. I'm not going to say a word. And I think it was almost a 3-hour interview. And episode 93 of Inappropriate Earl should be required listening for any comedy fan, any stand-up comic, bookers, club owners, because it gives you the insight of a fucking maniac. And it's not a great interview because of me. It's really because of him, to be honest with you. What up, Earl? Repping for Fort Bragg, Green Berets, Jim Hopa's unit. Does this cabinet minister always travel on the wrong side of the border? Yeah, we don't do that kind of humor in here at McDonald's. Yes, no, that's Tommy Morrison. My bad. How's Tommy doing now? I mean, Tommy came from money, so like he's doing fine. Do I like Bill Burr? I do, but I'm a little disappointed that he went over to Saudi Arabia. I mean, he couldn't have needed the money. And that part of the world hates gays, they hate women, and I believe that, I mean, I don't want to get off into a 9/11 discussion, but I believe Saudi Arabia was partially responsible for backing the terrorists in 9/11. So why the fuck would you go over there and like make, I don't, like, I could see if you're a broke comic and say, here's $100,000, you want to do 30 minutes? But Bill Burr can't need the money. Chappelle can't need the money. Russell Peters can't need the money. DiStefano can't need the money. Tim Dillon, I mean, I think as soon as they found out he was gay, they canceled his appearance. So yeah, but he can't need the money. There's no way Bill Burr needs money. So and people are like, well, you'd go over there if they offered you 10 million. Well, they're not going to offer me 10 million. So, I would not go over there. I just wouldn't, I'm not going to say I don't need the money. I mean, I think the rumor is they offered Burr and Chappelle 3 million each. So, I mean, that would be hard to turn down, but, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so, guys. Keep your homophobic fan base to yourself. Would I do it for 2 million? I know it sounds crazy and no one believes me. I wouldn't. I have a soul, man. There's no way I could go over to, I have a lot of gay friends. Obviously, I have a lot, well, maybe it's not obvious, but I have a lot of female friends. I didn't lose anyone personally on 9/11 that I knew, but, obviously it's a giant tragedy for this company. And I do believe Saudi Arabia was, in part, financially backed some of the terrorist operations. So fuck those people. Um, so, yeah, oh my God. We don't take your grift somewhere else. Well, I mean, people, hey, oh my God, you're gone, you fucking loser. Um, I mean, I don't know what the hand is, to be honest with you, but, the money came from somewhere, I mean, and although 9/11 from a financial aspect it actually wasn't that expensive to pull off. The money came from somewhere, but that's just so no, I would not have gone over there, and no one believes you. They say, well, if they offered you 20 million, one guy last night at my hockey game I was playing was like, you mean if they didn't offer you 100 million? Well, they're not going to offer me 100 million to do 30 minutes. I mean, 100 million, I might think about it, but no, I'm just kidding. I mean, like Ted DiBiase says, we all have a price, but it's just surprising that all the comics really who went over there are pretty well known that their price was so low. I mean, I've passed up on some pretty wacky gigs myself. I mean, nothing on the level of the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival. I agree with, but would go for 10 million. I mean, $100 million. I mean, that would be. You definitely think about it, but I mean, 100 million. I mean, but they're not going to offer me that. So it's like, you know, um, well, I don't have any facts. You know, um, I just think that some of the training was done in the Middle East. I think a lot of the meetings were done in the Middle East. Um, I think certain entities were given safe passage in the Middle East. So, no, I wouldn't go over there. No, I like my glasses. I uh, give away 20 million to gay rights. I mean, you know, I would. I mean, for me to go over there, I would make so many fucking wacky demands that they would be like, it's not worth it to have this guy. I would do stuff like that. Okay, you want me over there? I want $10 million. I want $20 million to gay rights. I want $20 million to women's rights, and it all goes to America. And in terms of, and then I'd have a 9/11 demand. I wanted a full investigation as who the financial backers were, and I want them arrested. So if you still want me to do 30 minutes and all those demands are met before I hop on an Air Emirates first class, not even first class, I want the suite. And you know what? I'm going to take a few friends with me too, so they get the suite too. Basically, we take over the whole fucking airplane. I want all the stewardesses to have double D's or bigger. I want the pilots to be naked. And I would like come up with the wackiest shit I could think of. I want my favorite boy band, the Click Five, to do a full concert over the Atlantic Ocean. And then, I mean, I would be the biggest fucking diva on the planet. Um, I'm pretty sure you're unable to mention certain things. They've kicked people off already, if I'm not mistaken. We're just talking about the contract. Do you watch football? I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. So I don't want any guys on the plane. It's a all female flight staff with double D's, and they're all horny. I want them to be given the female Viagra, and I want to run around that plane like a maniac. And Jack Napier has to be the pilot. I don't want Jack Napier flying anything. Bruce Dickinson has to be the pilot. He's capable. By the way, he sang the national anthem last night at the King game, and they lost 4-1. Oh well, that's how I want to fly the Atlantic route. It'll be a 25-hour plane ride. So, you know, I mean, so it's just disappointing, like that some of my favorite comics went over there for the cash grab. Um, I mean, I don't know if John Travolta's capable of flying. What is Air Emirates? What is that? Airbus? Type of planes. I mean, I think Bruce Dickinson is a fully licensed jumbo jet pilot. Like he's not like the third pilot. He's like the main pilot. So I would feel safe with Bruce Dickinson flying the plane. Uh, so Bruce did a good job. I mean, he's also sang the national anthem at the Pittsburgh Steelers home game, and it was good. I mean, they say that's the toughest song to sing, because the pitch. Um, I don't think Harrison Ford could fly a fully sized like a 747. I'm really not butthurt. I'm really not, Bear. Things I'm butthurt about, you're not getting on Gutfeld already. Yeah, I'm butthurt about that, absolutely. But in terms of um, the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival, I'm not butthurt at all. I know it's disappointing for you to hear, but well, it's also hard to sing because, like last night at Crypto.com, the acoustics in Crypto.com aren't great. So I'm sure it's echoey to the singer, and you've got the organist playing. So you've got to really be in step. Would you do a set in Korea? Probably not, because, I want to go where like England I would go. Because obviously I'm not famous, but like I'm like an Americanized version of Jimmy Carr. Australia I would go. I want to go where American humor is like known. So no, I would not do North Korea. Um, really, because of almost the same reasons I wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia to do comedy. So I don't need the money that bad. I mean, if they're offering me $100 million, yeah, I'd think about it, but. I should do an Attention Austin Comics. That would be funny. I mean, Austin Comics, no, they're not going to get my humor in Russia, so I'm not going to fly halfway or three-quarters across the world to just look at a bunch of fucking Russians staring at me. Because, I used to do a lot of youth hostel gigs with like Brody Stevens. We would do the Hollywood Hostel on Schrader, and it was all foreigners. They were just there for the night or whatever until they went to their final destination. And the crowds were horrible. They wouldn't laugh. They would just stare at you because they don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I'm going to go where have the best chance of succeeding. Would you sell your DNA to a company for cloning purposes? No. Well, how much money am I getting? Favorite comedy club went on the road. I mean, I don't do the road a lot, in full disclosure. But I would say the Mothership, I mean, it's a great club, and, they treat the comics awesome. I don't go there a lot because, I'm not really in with Rogan. I'm not out with Rogan, but I'm on the bubble of being like in the inner circle, but not in the inner circle. So there's just too many people ahead of me up there. If I can't say the Mothership, I would absolutely say the Stand in New York. I just like the way the booker conducts business. It's based on being funny, not how many Instagram followers you have. So if you're ever in New York, I would highly recommend the Stand. And I also like the House of Comedy in Scottsdale. I like the comic strip in Edmonton. They're owned by the same person, the great Tammy McPherson. Are you out with Tony for some reason? Does he have beef with you? Not as far as I know. We're good. I mean, we're big brother, little brother, basically. I think I've known Tony for since 2009, so would that be 15 or so years? We've had one argument, and he was so drunk when we had the argument, he probably wouldn't remember it. So that's a pretty good track record. Yeah, I mean, he was the second person to hug me when I walked into the green room at the mothership. So he's like, well, this is like John Cena coming into the Royal Rumble. And he talked me up a little bit in front of Joe. And so, yeah, I'm good with Tony. Are you in the Simpsons? The Simpsons, I'm going to assume. No, if I was in the Simpsons, I'd have more than 25 people in this stream. Would he get pissed if he knew you were saying you don't dig his show or not care? Well, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not saying the show's bad. I'm saying I understand why it is successful. You know, Kill Tony is very much like Roast Battle. It's insult humor. And, you know, the last few times I did it, I took the Santino route of trying to actually, like, I'm not a great joke writer or whatever, but, you know, I'm fairly accomplished as a comic, so I feel I can give advice. And you could tell the crowd was looking at me going, that's the roast battle guy. We want him to insult this person, not help them. So, I mean, I think it's a funny show to watch. I mean, someone asked me if I thought it was good for stand-up. I don't think it's good for stand-up because I think it gives a lot of people the idea that all you need is 1 minute to be famous or 1 minute to be a headliner. And I'll give you this example, and I've given this example a lot in here, but I believe ourselves alone that you're new to the stream, so you've never heard this example. So, like, you get a following from Kill Tony. You absolutely do. I mean, if you're David Lucas or William Montgomery or Uncle Blazer or Casey Rocket, Cam Patterson, you definitely get a following. That's undeniable. And so, you know, you're used to doing 1 minute of comedy. I mean, William Montgomery walks on stage with fucking notes. That's crazy to me that he can't remember 1 minute of comedy. I mean, that's just fucking laziness. And so any comedy club in the country is going to headline you if you have 100,000 Twitter followers or Instagram followers or whatever. So let's take, you know, but you're not going to get like a headlining weekend at an A club, but you'll get a club like the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, which I've played. That's not bragging, by the way. And so I think that, you know, at the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, they fucking party in that. I mean, they serve buckets of alcohol. So 10 minutes into the first show on Friday, that crowd is lit. And here's the problem with comics from Kill Tony is, you know, when you do Kill Tony, there's a lot of Band-Aids on the show. You know, you've got Tony, who's a very quick roaster. You've got Red Band, who's very quick with the sound effects. You've got 2 to 3 celebrity panelists. You know Santino, Jimmy Carr, Ian Bagg, and Brian Holtzman. You've got a band. So when you're bombing or you're just not feeling it that night, you've got any one of the combo of those things to help you. Well, when you're at the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, you don't got any of that. And so you probably, even the best Kill Tony comic at the most has 12 minutes of A-plus material. And I'm being generous. I mean, I'm being very generous by saying that. Well, you're going to go through your 12 minutes at the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville in about 6 minutes because you're going to be fucking scared. You're going to be amped up. The crowd's very intimidating. And then you're going to look up at that NBA shot clock that they have by the bar to let the comic know how much time they have. And you're going to see 55 minutes left. And you're going to go, fuck, that 55 minutes is going to seem like 12 hours. Um, so, I don't, hold on. Chad announced that he is leaving the Dabbleverse. So we don't do the Dabbleverse talking here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his thinking is of bringing notes out, but it's laziness. It's laziness I think it's disrespectful to Tony. I think it's disrespectful to the crowd that you can't remember 1 minute of material. Because what are you going to do when you get that, say, the Comedy Zone gig in Jacksonville? You're going to walk out there with pages of notes reading your jokes? Like, I hate that shit. But I don't know, you'd have to ask him why he doesn't. Well, I mean, I don't know if Tony Barbieri would be a great, he'd be a great roast writer, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see him as a character, the character of Mole on a roast. Um, did you know Joan Bennett Kennedy died? I did not. I did not know that. Well, I just think that, but getting back to like Kill Tony, um, I mean, you can't argue the success of the show. Like I said, I mean, I was someone who was around the show from not day one, but pretty much day one, I guess. So I've seen the show grow from 30 people in the belly room to 10,000 people at Madison Square Garden. So, I mean, it's impressive to say the least. I just, how I look at roasting, like, and I guess this is the roast battle part of me where I liked the one-on-one combat, battling Jesse Joyce, who was Comedy Central's #1 roast writer. I enjoyed going up against him one-on-one in front of Comedy Central executives and kicking his ass. I enjoyed battling Jimmy Carr on international television because I knew Comedy Central and Jeff wanted him to kill me, and it didn't happen. I just don't like ganging up on a comic who's new and, there's 3 or 4 of us ganging up on him. I just don't like that. But, I'm not the target audience for Kill Tony, so, Yeah, I don't like dogpiling on someone who's not capable of firing back. I mean, that's the one thing I liked about that heavyset girl on was it Skankfest Kill Tony when it was Zach Amico, I mean, the Legion of Skank guys, Tony, and I think Red Band, and maybe 1 or 2 other people just piling on this girl. And she was kind of fighting back. It was kind of funny. But, I just thought to myself, does it really take 5 or 6 of you to take this girl down? Like, I'd rather battle Sarah Tiana one-on-one or K. Trevor Wilson in Canada. So, I mean, I think with Cam, I hear he's a great guy. I've never met him. I think the problem for him with SNL in particular is going to be, he's not in a room now with William Montgomery or David Lucas or Hans Kim. He's in a room now with Emmy-winning writers, Emmy-nominated writers, people who've won Golden Globe Awards for writing. So it's a huge step up for him. But, listen, SNL is a casting show to a degree, so he's the young, brash black kid, and there's always a need for that on that show. So he should do well. I mean, SNL is a weird thing. I've had friends of mine. I've had a lot of friends of mine on that show for 1 year, and they're fired because it's very political, from what I understand, and it's very hard to get your sketches on. Obviously, there's a limited amount of time. So my friend Aristotle was on the show, I think, for 1 year, and he's fucking brilliant as an improv actor. And he did this really funny robot character on, I think, Weekend Update, and it killed. Gone after 1 year. David Lucas is just silly. His roaster, like, well, I think David Lucas is a bully, and he might be good roasting an audience member who's, once again, it's not capable of firing back at him. But you put him in a room or on a stage with other roasters, not impressed. I mean, when he did roast battle a few times, he wasn't impressive at all because you had the judges kind of ripping him. Yeah, you know, I was the house heckler before I started battling. I was a heckler on the show, and I wasn't impressed. Well, most shows, you know, lose their underground appeal the minute they get to TV. I mean, roast battle, like I was talking about earlier, was an awesome show when it was underground. I mean, we went hard in the paint. I mean, we had a rule where if two white comics were battling, they could say the N word. I mean, it was crazy shit like that. And, well, I mean, you want to see David Lucas get murdered. Look up David Lucas, Harlan Williams. And Harlan Williams isn't even a roast comic, to be frank. Um, so. Harlan is a nice, sweet dude, but I think David was coming for him and thought, oh, this guy's not going to fire back at me. And it was the difference between a Kill Tony comic and a comic. That right there. I mean, Harlan Williams has done comedy for 30 years. He's been a headliner for most of those years. It was a Mike Tyson knockout. I mean, I wouldn't say Gilbert was the best. To me, Gilbert, it got old after like 10 minutes, but he was a great comic for sure. All right, you guys, we got 3 more minutes. Well, Harlan was just like, I mean, it was just like awesome to watch. I mean, David Lucas is not well liked by most comics. Um, and so to see, and Harlan is beloved. Harlan's almost in that norm category of people love him. Like everyone loves Harlan Williams. You'll rarely, I've never heard a bad word about him. So, you know, it was just awesome to see Harlan, who, you know, you would say is probably unassuming and nice guy, just fucking destroy him. Um, yeah, I mean, I would say that's applicable comparison. I haven't seen Gareth Williams in a very long time. Cat Williams is a legend. I mean, he keeps it real. For those of you wondering, that's my dog Lois with a collapsed trachea. So, good for you, Hi-Fi Protege. So, get your last minute questions in. We got 1 more minute, kids. And then I've got stuff to do. So, gotta go. We'll check you out your stuff. Yeah, well, my dog is medically looked after very nicely. Yeah, nice to thanks for joining the stream. You know, I stream sporadically, but you know, you're welcome in anytime. I will. You know, the cough sounds horrible. No poontang for Earl lately. But you know, I've gotten enough poontang where I can hibernate a little while. Yeah, Straya is an awesome comic. You know, she's on the rise for sure. I mean, I'm used to it by now. But yes, Lois is an amazing dog. What up, Kip Smith? We got some mods coming in and out, and I appreciate it. I collapsed trachea cannot be fixed. I mean, they would have to essentially like shave it. It's just not worth it for a dog who is 15, 16 years old. It's just not worth it to me. All right, you kids. Earl Skakel over now.